Steve, do you have any other hidden professions you want anybody to know about? Everybody knows about your military background, your pro wrestling background. Like, do you have any
Yes,
special interests?
I'm pursuing my psychology degree. That'd probably be about the best thing to talk about.
How is that going? We have talked about that a little bit before, but
It's
uh,
going. I'm in my last week of this semester for my History 200 and my Development in Psychology 215. So it's
nice.
it's going good. I got B's right now in both classes, so I'm pretty happy.
That these are passing. That's good.
Yeah, I need to really start responding on some of these discussions because that's where I get a lot of my points taken off. I'm just like, oh shit, sorry,
Yeah,
just didn't care about somebody else's opinion.
yeah. So we have talked about it before. I know I asked. You don't really see it as a career at this point. Any thoughts now that you're more and more like closer to your degree? Like, any thoughts on what you want to do with it?
No, maybe at some point down the road. I just everything I do right now is focused on wrestling, but it is nice to have something outside of wrestling to put my mind to so that I can kind of be distant and just kind of escape from it too. And it's just giving me a different path to also kind of have focus on something else.
Mhm.
But for the most part, day in and day out, every bit of my focus is on pro wrestling, especially with Impact, and then just on the independents,
Mhm.
just having a lot of fun and just enjoying pro wrestling right now.
All right, let's focus on what's coming up this weekend. Bound for Glory, October 21st in Chicago. You're going to be in a Monsters Ball match, four-way match, PCO, Rhino, Moose. You've had your respective issues with these guys throughout last year and this year. Talk to me about what your thoughts are going into the match. One thing that I will say I like that has returned is you guys get locked in a room for 24 hours with no food, water, or light. I think that was a staple of old school TNA, and I think it adds to the match. Talk to me about just the match itself and sort of the history behind the Monsters Ball
Well,
match.
let's start off getting locked right into a room with no food or water or light. That's pretty much up my wheelhouse anyway. I was trained as a Marine, so it's pretty easy to be malnourished and neglected on my end, and used to being able to do that. And so I'm very adaptable, and I like to use the term ruthlessly adaptable in a lot of the cases for what I do. But I am in the ring with three people I have an issue with that I've beaten multiple times, all three of them as well. But I'm also in a ring with all three of them at the same time now in the Monsters Ball match, which is one of those stipulations that I've been looking forward to hopefully being able to be involved with in one of those matches.
Mhm.
I remember watching Crazy Steve and Trey Miguel the last time it was done, and I was like, it'd be fun to get in one of those matches and just go a little crazy. So I'm very much looking forward to Bound for Glory, especially up in Chicago, which is a really good wrestling town. Right at Cicero, it's a good little intimate atmosphere with a sold out crowd with the fans. It's going to be loud. It's going to be hectic, and like I like to say, it's going to be a lot of mayhem.
Which one of those three opponents do you think is going to have the hardest time with that stipulation? You said it's in your wheelhouse, so which one of them is at the biggest
I,
disadvantage?
I don't think anybody's really at a disadvantage, especially PCO for the man he is and what we've been through. Rhino, he's the war machine, and then Moose. Me and Moose have been in the barbed wire massacre together. So like, I don't know. I guess it's just them on their head if they're locked in that room and they let that get to them with no food, water, or light, and just that malnourished. If they can last and go the distance, me, I've proven that I can. Obviously, I made it back from two tours, so it's one of those things where yeah, we're just gonna figure it out, and it's gonna be one of those matches where it's gonna prove itself out there.
All right, so you won't go as far as saying any of them are soft.
No, not no,
No.
not like Bully.
Okay. What exactly makes him soft? Like what is the deal with him? Because
So
he's a
listen,
hardcore legend. Come on, like I
yeah,
want to hear.
listen, it's one of those things where it just, I guess, with Devon coming back, it just kind of stirred up old emotions, and it just kind of changed him a little bit. I don't know if it's him on this nostalgia kick, but when he asked for my help, I went and helped him with PCO, and obviously we poured battery acid down his throat, we burned him alive, and we've done everything that we possibly could, and we got the job done. But now here we are, me asking him for help with Rhino, and all he wants to do is talk to him. We don't talk, but a guy like Bully Ray doesn't talk. I know he'll go out there and he'll talk about it, but when he wants to get something done, he gets it done. And that's just kind of just didn't sit with me right. So that's why I wanted to put it into his head. I'm like, oh, you gone soft.
This is just me looking at the situation. I don't feel this way, but some people might say you got soft since you got married. You're all lovey-dovey on the internet. I saw you showed your wiener on Twitter the other day.
And what I do on the internet completely is opposite of the ring. Once I go through that curtain, I'm in that ring. It's a whole different ball game.
I hope everybody knows that I'm talking about a wiener dog.
Yes, not my actual wiener. Hashtag show me your wiener.
It was funny. We'll have to go put it out there, but that's my crass joke for the call.
It's okay.
You've been married about a year now. How's that going? I mentioned you see all the stuff you do share, and yep. I'm not gonna ask you for the thousandth or millionth time, when are you guys gonna team up? Like, but yeah. How are things? Like, how is it? Especially since you're both at different stages of pursuing your education and in different stages of your wrestling career.
It's great. Honestly, even when we got married, like, it was for the day. And then after that, it's like we've been married the whole time. Nothing's really changed other than I just say yes a little bit more. But no, it's the best. And I'm married to my best friend. We get to travel the world together. She's killing it right now. I'm excited to watch her and Tasha possibly win the tag titles together, because they're come from Team Adams up at Damian Adams School, and they both trained together. And if they get to do something like that, it's just a good moment for them. But I'm extremely happy for her. And life's just good, man. I can't complain. Outside of wrestling, life's good. And even in wrestling, maybe after Monsters Ball, the way I feel after that, on the toll on my body, I won't feel as good, but we'll see. But other than that, life's pretty good, man.
After the match, you'll have to get a big cheeseburger.
That would be good. And maybe I'll go get a deep dish. Even though I'm not a big fan of the deep dishes, at least they'll fill me up from all that malnourishment of being locked in a room for 24 hours.
I'm going to if I have to pick one, I'm going to say Lou Malnati's.
Okay.
That was always either that or Gino's East. Giordano's is like everywhere. You have one in Orlando, so it's like big deal.
But do you consider deep dish actually pizza?
Yeah, because I still eat it with my hands. So
okay.
It is a slice. It's not it's not tavern style like Chicago, but it's still pizza.
Okay.
Just one more note on Bully Ray. I don't know if you're going to be in the area, but he's hosting a party at Bar A in Belmar next week. So just
could show up.
I was going to say, if you're in Rutherford for Halloween, New Jersey's fun for Halloween. If you're, in proximity, it might be a reason to stop by. Just say hello.
Say hello. Talk to the world.
PCO, you did mention you poured battery acid down his throat. You set him on fire. The guy is like literally indestructible. Would you say he's the Michael Myers of Impact Wrestling, or would you say he's a different horror character?
I think he's Jason Voorhees. He's more the Jason Voorhees, just because of the evolution of like Jason, like he got electrocuted to be brought back to life. He's underwater and got just so many different ways he was brought back to life, and that's PCO. He's not human. Mm-hmm. It blows my mind, but just for as much as he can take, I have obviously shown that I can overcome and beat him. Something Bully never did. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things that it just, you don't know what you're going to get from him at times, other than knowing that he can take it and take it and take it and take it, but he can stay down. But some reason, always a nut shot works. So it's at least he's still got his giblets down there, I guess.
So you're his Tommy Jarvis.
We'll go with that.
I think that's fitting. Any other Halloween plans you got coming up? I know. I mentioned the party. I mentioned that's Mischief Night, but any Halloween stuff that?
No, I'll be home hanging out, watching some movies, and trying to enjoy the festivities. We have a good neighborhood of kids in too, so a lot of families in our area, and it's always fun with candy getting out. Just because it brings me back to when I was a little kid, and being in Rutherford is a big Halloween town, going door to door, and it's just always fun.
I usually do a watch list. I'm going to mix it up a little bit this time. Any favorite Halloween themed matches, whether it's Halloween Havoc or anything that Impact's done over the years that really, just sort of highlights the spirit of the holiday or the spirit of the event?
Just Halloween Havoc. We were actually talking. D and I were walking the dogs last night, and that was one of the things of just bringing up that Halloween Havoc's happening up. I think with NXT soon. And I'm just like, it's cool that that kind of is still a thing. And like, I grew up loving that pay-per-view, and like, just you think back to Ray and Eddie on that, and that's just one of those things. But you had the giant pumpkin there, and just it was always cool, just because it had a theme and it was something different from everything else. But with Impact, I would think with the Monsters Ball is, I think, very up there as one of those matches that's going to be close to what Halloween is, and it's just cool to be a part of that.
So no last rites match.
No, I don't want. No, I don't want to be in one of those. There's a little bit too much on that on the line there.
Everybody I talked to about it's like, yeah, it was a good match, but maybe keep it in the past, or
yeah, we don't need to do one of them now.
There's a reason
unless we had like some type of sponsor of like the new Exorcist movie, and then had the last rites that way. Maybe that would work. We can make that work with possession or something, but who knows?
All right, here's a better idea. The Sphere in Las Vegas, they can light it up like a pumpkin. I'm thinking like hit up Scott or whoever signs off on the budget. Go back to Vegas next year for some sort of Halloween themed event.
Or in Vegas in January for Hard to Kill. So I don't know when we'll be back after that, but hopefully you can do something there.
There has been it wouldn't work out Friday the 13th, but you know, that did happen. It was that was actually a really good event when it was the Hard to Kill theme. I think it was 2 years ago or last year. I don't know.
I want to say it was last year, but it ended up working out.
Yeah, it was a good event. All right. We talked when you came back earlier this year. Unfortunate injury. You're getting back into the thick of things. How do you finish the year out strong? Obviously, I'm assuming your goal is get back to the world title. Maybe Josh Alexander's in there somewhere, but how do you finish the rest of the year to sort of put a cherry on 2023?
Well, first win Monsters Ball. That's my goal right now. It's where my head's out on that. But then if I am to get back to the world title, whether it be Shelley, Josh, or even possibly Will Ospreay or John Gresham, it's because we have the fallout the next day after BFG. So I'll have my eyes on those matchups and the possible matchups for down the line. But it is to get back to the world title. And I've said it to you before, and I've said it in multiple interviews. If you're not in this business after the world title, then what are you doing? That's my goal. I want to be that guy. I was that guy. Obviously, an exposed turnbuckle and a capitalization on that was why I lost the title. And then also another injury cost me my rematch. And then, of course, with Josh, he had to go low towards the end of the match, going back towards the end of my groin injury. So good on him being smart, but at the same time, for the good guy he's supposed to be and the stand-up guy that he is, he went low. So I'd love to get that rematch again soon.
I think they call those receipts, and it sounds like a few people have them coming.
There's a lot to come around. I have a lot of issues with a lot of people for the past 2.5 years, almost 3 years in Impact now. I feel like I have issues with everybody.
So if my timing's right, we'll probably talk in like 6 weeks. It'll be December. We can air the grievances, do the Festivus thing. You know, you can get some of that out if you didn't do it in the ring already.
Yeah. Do you celebrate Festivus?
I try to.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have the poll, but
when we were there was a place called Railroad Cafe in East Rutherford, New Jersey, right over the train tracks from my hometown, because my hometown was dry. But if you cross the tracks, all the bars are right there. We used to have Festivus all the time there when I was younger, and it was always fun to just go hang out, and everybody was celebrating it that way.
Sounds like a good time. Good luck with Monsters Ball this weekend.
Thank you.
Survive it. I hope you win, but you know, survive it, get out unscathed as best as you can. And
it's going into one of these matches, you just got to know your body's going to hurt. You're going to be beat up. You're going to probably bleed. You're going to be cut up. And it's, not looking forward to what I have to put myself through, but I'm going to do whatever it needs to get the job done and come out as the winner. And to beat all three of those men of PCO, Moose, and Rhino, especially, who wants to just keep goring me. For some reason, you would think one would have done it, but he can't keep me down. So I guess that's why he keeps coming.
Thank you as always. It's good to catch up. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Bill.